Darren, Chris,
Yo,
Darren.
what's up? Hey, yo, Kevin, hello.
Are we like best friends now?
I guess so.
I think we became
I got
best
a mug
friends.
out of it. There's like a lot of I'm saying good morning myself. So,
You've seen Hamilton, you've seen Deadpool. We'll talk about all that.
I've seen all the hits.
Before we get to that, real
Yeah.
quick, you're in Washington, D.C. this weekend,
I
performing
am.
at the Kennedy Center, which is amazing. You're doing a bunch
Yeah.
of Broadway favorites, and you talk about, it's called Broadway Today. Talk about what you're doing in D.C.
You know, this is something that is not actually very typical for me. In that regard, I'm really excited. Steve Renicky, who's sort of the helm of this amazing orchestra, it's very rare that people like me get to sing with, like 70, 80 piece orchestra,
Right.
much less songs that I really dig. So it's all contemporary Broadway stuff. So that's not, unfortunately, does not include Hamilton. That would be hyper contemporary.
But super meta.
Yeah, exactly.
Happening right now.
This is like maybe like the past 30, 40 some odd years. So a lot of for Broadway fans out there, that's like Stephen Schwartz, that's Jason Robert Brown, Freddie and Aaron's. A lot of songs that maybe you don't even know the composers, but you might go, oh yeah, I know that song. So. So I get to sing those, and actually, ideally, if you don't know the songs, it's even better because it's a great way to showcase them. And I don't typically sing this kind of music, so it's a first for me, and I'm really excited. It's definitely worth checking out to see how poorly I can screw up.
Now, obviously,
Come laugh at me.
You're going to do great. Obviously, you're amazing on Glee. And I want to ask you, playing that character over the episodes that you played him on Blaine, how did he change your life? What did you learn about yourself from him? Like, what new things did you find out about yourself? And also, like, what did he do for you?
I didn't know that I could put my body in that tight clothing. I didn't know that I could deal with wearing a bow tie that long or wear pants that were that tight. Because that was a lot. Oh yeah, a lot of no socks. Stuff that I do now in real life, I guess, a little bit. Where
You took on some of his characteristics?
I wouldn't say his characteristics, but I'd be like, oh yeah, this makes sense. And when it's hot out, maybe not wear socks, but that's gonna go so far with some of those crazy fans out there. That I just made a thing. I just started a thing.
Explain to me the sock thing. Explain to me the...
Oh, people would like send stuff to the Glee wardrobe office all the time, like up in arms about certain choices. So the fact that I endorsed one, oof, all hell's gonna break loose.
Now, obviously, you're a big movie fan. You're a big Broadway fan. Hedwig was an incredible show. You were part of an amazing group of people who were involved in that. Neil Patrick Harris, Taye Diggs, obviously Michael C. Hall from Dexter,
John Karen Mitchell.
Yeah, huge show. I'm wondering, and this is just a total hypothetical, nerdy question.
Hypothetical me.
If Blaine were to cover a Hedwig song on Glee, how would that sound, and what song would he do?
It'd probably sound like me because even though I'm not Blaine, unfortunately we do share the same voice.
This is true.
So I imagine it sounds someone like me. But I think he'd probably do something like Wicked Little Town, something really pretty, like a ballad like that. Except it's weird in the show because people ask me to sing those tunes. I'm singing with an accent as a character on stage, so I've never really sung them as me. So maybe Blaine would sound a little closer to me instead of a.
What would be a sentence that would sound different? Like how would you do it on Hedwig, and how would you do it as you?
Well, on Hedwig it'd be way different because I'd be in all kinds of fun hair and makeup. I'd be either playing Tom McNose as kind of like a teenage renegade punk rock star, or a fabulous glam rock princess. So the voices are so different that I don't know that they would sound. Blaine tends to be very white bread.
He's awesome. Now, obviously, I've always wanted this because on stage in Kennedy Center, you're going to be singing live. On Broadway, you sing live. With Glee, it was recorded, I believe.
Well,
and then you would do it live.
Well, just like any film musical, for the exception of maybe Les Mis, it's like everything's pre-recorded. So you sing it in the studio, and then just like a music video, you lip sync to it on the stage.
But when you were on set in Glee, did you actually sing it live and they matched it, or did you actually have to lip sync?
No, we lip sync. Well, you would sing live, so you see sort of the vein in your neck and the sweat on your brow. But I sang live a few times on the show. I did a version of Teenage Dream. I did a version of Against All Odds. I did Suddenly Seymour.
That's right.
Which we're also doing this weekend, because that's sort of a contemporary Broadway hit. If you're not familiar with that show from Little Shop of Horrors. So I did that one live, or at least half of it. Anytime they had me at a piano, they had this thing where they asked me to sing live, which isn't. I prefer not to, because you go, man, I sounded so good in the studio. So yeah, it was sort of a grab bag of both.
What out of all the songs you're doing on Broadway today at the Kennedy Center, are there ones that you specifically chose?
Yes, there is.
Which ones did you specifically choose?
So before me, unfortunately, Jeremy Jordan was going to do this, and I'm a huge Jeremy Jordan fan, and he has such an unbelievable voice. that there were some songs where I was like, oh man, I can't sing as well as Jeremy, so I'm gonna have to switch some songs that might fit my wheelhouse a bit better. And there's a song from a show called Man of No Importance, from an off-Broadway show by Flaherty and Aarons. They wrote Ragtime, Pseudocol, Anastasia, the music for Anastasia, which is a lot of kick-ass music. And I am singing a song called The Streets of Dublin, which I'm very psyched about. Because a lot of people won't know this song, but that is going to be the song that someone's going to go, that's a cool song. Yeah, it's a good one.
Now, you and I bonded before the interview started because you and I have very similar tastes in television shows and movies. You love Deadpool, you love Breaking Bad.
I think it's just good taste.
You're just a nerd. Are you a nerd?
I think nerd's a bit passé. I think fan is more the common nomenclature now.
Yeah, I like that. Now,
just a fanboy.
Talk about like your love of like Breaking Bad, and is that a show you followed as it?
Yeah, of course. I think I was probably one of the only people that watched the pilot when it came out.
Yeah.
And then it's one of the few hit shows that most hit shows are hugely popular the first 2 seasons and then kind of wilt, whereas that was the most popular in its last 2 seasons because of Netflix and everything. But yeah, I remember watching the bit of the first season when it came out, going, "Oh, cool! Like the dad from Malcolm in the Middle has a dramatic show on the network that Mad Men is on." Yeah, so I was a huge Breaking Bad fan. It's one of the greatest shows ever.
When you walk down the street, I mean, obviously Glee was a big deal for you, but what do people shout at you? Like, do they sing?
Get out of the way! Trying to get to work. No, people always assume that Glee's kind of ran its course, so I never. I certainly didn't run into very much unsolicited attention. I certainly didn't even then. I mean, I'm such a different person in life, and I kind of live kind of a pretty low profile that I've never really had. But I'll tell you what, if people do stop me, it's always very civil and very nice. And, hey, watch Glee. Cool. Later. It's nothing crazy. It's always very lovely interaction.
One thing I find fascinating is like when I meet someone in real life, obviously you see them play a character for so long. I mean, you have to become these people that you're playing on stage. When you've left the roles that you've done, either Blaine or Hedwig or anything you do, even the songs you're doing live at the Kennedy Center, do you miss being those people as you leave them?
Not really. I guess I kind of put myself so much into those people when I'm doing those roles that by the time they're over, I don't feel any sort of sense of remorse or loss from them. But I will say Hedwig is one of the greatest shows ever, and I will always miss doing that, just particularly because it's so fun. It's like a really fun party that you miss. But I don't. I'm not like bummed about it. I'm always ready for the next thing. You know, I'm a mercenary, baby. Give me the next thing.
We're gonna be coming up live on Good Day DC very, very shortly here, and so such an honor to have you in studio.
Dude, this is so
here.
Cool.
You honestly rock it life.
I'm trying really hard. I appreciate you noticing.
What do you have coming up next besides Broadway today?
I'm just taking it easy, man. I have a lot of concert. You know, we're doing this at Carnegie Hall in New York, and we're doing a show in Toronto as well. Other than that, just a lot of traveling and just writing.
Yeah, do you want to continue doing movies, television shows, Broadway? You've been on Broadway for a while now.
Yeah, I wish it was up to me. I have to wait around for jobs to come my way. I'm not in the position where I can just kind of press buttons to do stuff that I want yet. I started off mainly as a writer and a musician, so just getting back to that and doing that for myself and for the fans out there. Yeah.
I always wanted to know this: when you're part of a show, wherever you're part of a show, TV show or a Broadway show, is there a group text that everyone's on? Is there a Glee group text?
It's the same thing, like I'm sure for your work colleagues here. Yeah, of course. I mean, there's stuff where I'll text somebody out of the blue if it's someone's birthday, and then you realize the last time you texted that group was like 2 years ago. Like, oh my god. But absolutely, there's probably a few group texts that I wish didn't exist.
Like which one?
Just like where there's like 30 people on it. Like, hey guys, you know.
Either wrap me up. All right, he's gonna be on Good Day DC next. Darren, thank you so much, man.
Hey,
Always a pleasure nerding out with you.
Dude, yeah, likewise.